Well, happy Friday Eve, Press Box Overtime, friends. You are looking at the Satellite High School Intra-Squad spring game, players on the field. And before we get started, I'm Bill Maharis.
And Doug Cook.
And we're glad you're with us tonight on Press Box Overtime. This game was initially planned, I believe, for next Friday in a week. I think because of graduation and, as Doug knows, being the retired assistant principal here in charge of facilities, they need about a day or two to set up the field with chairs and tables. So brand new coach, Coach Robinson, moved the game to tonight. So we are happy to not only be here with the Satellite High School Scorpions, but we're also kicking off spring football because this is the only happening tonight. A lot of games are going on tomorrow night, but we're glad you joined us. Again, Satellite High School 2022 version is playing an intra-squad game. So let me ask you, Doug, first of all, you got three sons, all played baseball, high school, all played in college, two played in the pros. But when we started talking about football, I think if I'm using the term correctly, you said this was your wheelhouse. So what excites you about doing football?
Well, I'd like to see, spring's a great time to see what kind of talent you got for the fall.
Right.
It's a good time to get all the kids involved, to get the parents out, and just have a good time, have a lot of fun.
Right.
It's very low stress, as the fall is.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun just to get out and see the kids and see what kind of talent you got coming up for the fall.
So let me ask you, you were head coach of the Cocoa Tigers, my alma mater, back in the late 80s, had an undefeated season one year. When you go into your spring game, and again, we're talking about Satellite High School coming off a 10-3 season last year. Their only losses was to Rockledge and Merritt Island twice, two teams that finished ranked 4th and 5th in the 5A. So they had a great year. What are you looking for in the spring? What are you trying to get? What is Coach Robinson trying to get accomplished tonight?
Well, he's looking at a young talent. He lost a lot of good players from last year, especially the D1 receiver he lost. So he's got to rebuild. He's got to come back out, try to get the confidence of the players too, because he's a new coach.
Right.
He's got to get their confidence, and they've got to look organized. They've got to come out and have a good showing here in the spring. I mean, there's still a lot of work to do over the summer. Weight room, back out here, getting your quarterback in shape and your receivers and that kind of stuff flowing, and just looking forward to the fall.
I was thinking, I remember talking about coaching, et cetera, and there used to always be that cliche, well, anybody can coach the Yankees, and what they meant by that is, well, anybody can take a good team and coach it. I don't know though, because now you've got to live it up to that same level.
Right.
So it's not so much.
Right.
Hey, go right ahead. It's not so much, well, it's easy street because you're inherited a great team that finished 11th in the state.
Right.
You still got work to do.
Oh, you really do. I mean, these young kids coming up from JV, they're getting the opportunity to play varsity. You got kids coming up from the middle school. You're looking at all these kids, and you got a new program too. I think he's got a different offense than what Coach Kimmy ran last year.
Right.
You got a lot of new things to put in. You got new coaches. You got to gel together. If that doesn't gel in the spring, you're gonna have a tough fall.
Right.
So you've got to come together, and the number one thing is to win. You got to win in the fall.
Right.
And all these fans out here, that's what they're expecting. They had winning last year with Coach Kimmy here at Satellite High School, probably one of the best football seasons I've seen in my 22 years associated with this school. So you better get your team ready, and you better win some ball games.
Right. So like they say, coach of the Yankees isn't always the easiest thing to do.
Exactly.
And you bring up a good point. We're looking out on the field, and of course we're going to flip the camera once the game starts. I know they have their JV players here. There's got to be 70 or 80 players out there, and I think you hit on a good point that they've been working in the weight room. They've been doing their practices for the FHSAA. You have so many days. So this is their time to shine because they're going to be spending the next 3 months pretty much locked in with each other Monday through Friday in that weight room. And so I think it is big that they finish off the spring season, with the camaraderie of playing each other. So let me ask you, is there an advantage, a disadvantage? Because there's even Cocoa High School is doing an intra-squad game. What's the advantage or not of doing an intra-squad game versus playing somebody?
Well, I think, some coaches, they just like to do an inter-squad game so that you don't get injuries. If you get out there and you're playing somebody other than another school, I mean, kids are going hard. They're going hard and possibly get an injury. Now, when I was at Cocoa High School, school, we had an inter-squad game, and we also had a jamboree. And every year over at Maryland, my boys wanted to hit somebody besides themselves. So we were fired up, and we had a good time, and that's the way I prefer having another team to play against another team.
Right. I agree. And you talked about earlier as far as worrying about injuries, etc. And not that these young men aren't going to hit hard, but I'm thinking the defense was told, don't be putting the quarterback on his back.
Oh, exactly. You don't want to hit your quarterback. If the quarterback goes down, your season's going to be very long. It's happened to me when I was coaching at Rockledge High School.
I think when we've watched some of the intra-squad college games, and I've been up to Florida a couple of times to catch some of theirs, and I don't know if it's a yellow jersey. The quarterback's always got something different on, whether he's got a penny on or he's got a jersey on or something. The pros do it the same way, to make sure that they don't hit him. So yeah, you certainly want to hit each other, but it's a little different when you're playing somebody with a different color uniform.
Exactly, that's for sure. In an inter-squad game, of course, you can hit your quarterback a little bit in the spring. You don't want to, you don't want to hit him low or try to take him out.
Right.
So I always had a yellow vest. Do not hit the quarterback, or you're going to be in big trouble. So I got to keep that guy around for the season.
I think we're doing getting ready to do the anthem real quick. So we're not sure yet if they're going to do, I'm guessing maybe black is going to be offense or defense and white's going to be one, but I imagine some of these players play both sides. They're probably going to be going back and forth. So we'll see what Coach Robinson has in store. And real quick, I do want to give a shout out to anybody out there interested at all in coaching. I don't care what sport, what season. I was on the Brevard Public School website today. If there's not 70 coaches openings, I don't know what is. So think about giving back to the community. I know a lot of you all listening went to school here. A lot of coaches that we had went to school here. But think about joining one of the schools, the 16 high schools that we have here in the county, and coaching a sport. And just like that third team on the field and the black and white stripes, Mid-Coast Officials Association, always looking for associates and looking for referees, so think about that. I do want to give a shout out to Brevard Public Schools. From what I understand, starting next year, there's a 25% increase in coaches supplements. So again, we hope that draws some people in.
I may have to come out of retirement, Bill.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. So it looks like they're lined up. We've got, we're starting from, what do we got here? The 20-yard line. Ball batted down. So, and I think you talked about that, Doug, and I've seen University of Florida do this too. It's going to be a very structured, like that was a pass play, starting from the 20-yard line. You got the coaches lined up behind them.
Yeah, it's going to be a controlled scrimmage here for sure. It's like going slot I here, double slot I. Quarterback. Just straight out the middle.
Practicing there, gotcha.
Yep.
Just straight out the middle there on the
That
22.
Was, number 16, a junior, both running back and wide receiver, Jaden Lamb. And again, just like we talked about, you can kind of see we're not going to pancake anybody today. Coach is kind of going over it. I'm sure the defense, we don't want to lock any of our brothers on the ground, but I'm sure they don't want anybody scoring on them. I don't even know if they've got the down clock working or not. This is third down. Not sure how many they're going to give.
Pass out to the receiver. We got 2 games going on in here.
I think every play so far looks like it had 2 wide to the left and 2 wide to the right. So definitely, at least the way they're starting, looks like passing is going to be a big part of their game this year.
Yeah, I believe so. It certainly appears that way. Got 2 games going on here.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
No, but this is we don't have an 8th grade roster. No, we don't. No.
So we got.
These are all. This is varsity.
I'm thinking it might be first team on the left, maybe the second team on the right. Now that's a unique way to do it. I've never seen this.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess you get more reps in.
Yeah.
Doing it this way.
So on the right-hand side, we're back to pass. Looks like he's wide open. He's raising his hand. Oh, nice catch. Nice catch by number 13. That was Cooper Jenkins on that catch. Again, nice catch. And we do understand they're not going out 100%. But again, that was still a good catch. The defender was on him. Threw it past the defender's open arms. I like the way he put his hand up to let the quarterback know he was ready. So on the left-hand side, so as we're facing east, facing the beautiful Atlantic Ocean, we've got the white on offense to our right, going south, and now we've got the white on offense also on the left heading north. So again, like Doug said, we got two MI mini games going.
Yeah, Bill, it's kind of hard to cover both at the same time. I'm trying my best.
We need picture-in-picture, I think. Split screen. We got at least a couple hundred people out here watching, which I think is pretty good for Thursday afternoon for an Intra-Squad game.
Good.
Now, you know what I'm wondering? Could be wrong. Team on the right, maybe JV, possibly.
Yeah, or vice versa. Might be varsity on the right side.
Looking at the roster, he's got white on white, black on red. So, yeah, I think you're right. They've got 2 complete offense teams and 2 defensive teams. And again, it's a great way to get everybody involved.
Yeah, you get a lot more reps going.
So we got quarterback in the shotgun. He's got 2 to the left, 2 to the right, hands up the middle. Looks like, as Bobby Bowden once said, we played to the whistle, and I think that's what happened on that play. Was they kept going. And again, we want to remind everybody, Satellite had a phenomenal year last year. I still think it's the toughest 5A district in the state. We're going to talk a little bit about districts because it's not 5A anymore. But when you've got 3 teams that finished the season ranked in the top 11 in one district, all 3 made the playoffs. As we know, Merritt Island made the final against Cardinal Gibbons. It doesn't get any stronger than that.
No, not at all. I mean, it's total different format this year, isn't it, Bill? As far as
pass out to the right, wide receiver out to the left. Yep. You know, we talked about Coach Robinson. He was here last year, I believe, the offensive coordinator, so had a lot to do with that success. Also worked with the quarterback, so I'm sure that's a nice move to move somebody like that into the head coaching position.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's got some good experience. And probably learned a lot from Coach Kimmy last year. Coach Kimmy was an excellent coach, excellent role model for the kids, and just did a phenomenal job. Not only on the football field, but also in the classroom.
Oh yeah,
did a great job in the classroom.
Yeah, I agree. It's you know, and you know, we talked about this before, and other schools have tried it. At least in recent memory, I don't think anybody nobody has done it as well as Coach Kimmy as far as taking his squad to an independent league for a couple of years, build that excitement, build that culture, win some games. I was here, you were here when they beat, was it Father Lopez, and that little, you get that little mini bowl game?
Right.
And built that culture back up, then went back into 5A.
Yeah, he did a great job, going independent, like you said, and coming back in the conference and doing well.
And a lot of teams have tried that lately and haven't done well.
Right.
So I give hats off to him. And sometimes it's not about winning championships right away.
Right.
It's getting people in the stands. Like I say, we've got probably 250 people here tonight. It's getting the student body behind it. It's getting kids to come out. I think you told me one time 40, 50, 30 kids maybe. Now
That was
there's probably 80 out there. You've got to get that done first and then worry about winning.
Yeah, the excitement's definitely carried over from last year. These kids, they like to win. And I think satellite program's come a long way since I've been here 22 years.
Right. And I think, one thing that, like you said, that coach did, now it's an expectation.
Right.
You mentioned earlier in the pregame that there's an expectation Satellite continues to win this year.
Right.
And I think we'll go over what their schedule is this year. And again, they've got some of the same teams in their district. Again, it's not 5A anymore, it's suburban. And we'll talk about, they had a couple teams leave and a couple teams one team get added.
Deep pass here.
Go through a little bit. So that's one good thing with, because I've been in some stadiums that aren't like this. North-south means at least you don't have the sun in your eyes.
Right.
Some stadiums, they build them east-west, and I'm like, that's not the way you want to go.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stadium here. Beautiful complex here at Satellite High School. This rubberized track was put in a few years ago.
Right.
And just a beautiful facility.
So now they've got two wideouts, left and right. Single back. Okay, quarterback keeper, run around left side. Okay.
He's got some wheels here.
Looks like he's got a little bit of... Did he get it over? What's that? Oh, he stopped it short.
1 yard line.
Must have been that knee must have gotten down. So we
Nice
talked
play
about
there.
last year they were 5A. This year Satellite, of course, pretty much all the non-big counties are in the suburban versus the metro. And Satellite's district is now 3 suburban. So basically the